Shadows in the Smoke is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care. I'd like to begin with Miss Maisie Douglas, dressed for the Midsummer Masquerade, but you seem to be missing an escort. Where do we find you?
Maisie is down at Cremorne Gardens, back in her secluded little spot that she found earlier today, hoping that at night it's a little bit less crowded, even more so than earlier today. Standing on the shore in her bare feet, the water in her dress mixing with the water in the ocean. She places the box of the fishman's garments next to her and wades down into the water and calls out, "Merlin, I've come. We're going to the party and I have clothes for you."
I have a paint the scene for all of you. We know that Hazel Beaumont works with fae glamours and creates garments made out of impossible materials. As Merlin, the creature of Cremorne Gardens, rises from the surf and dresses in the garment that has been provided him, how does his attire and perhaps appearance change to suit tonight's festivities?
We see him pulling on a white shirt, but this shirt is not made of normal fabric. It is instead the foamy, bubbling surf of a wave coming in and getting ready to pull back out into the water. And we see it almost foaming at like the wrists and neck into a ruff.
Below the ruff is a doublet made of anemone. So it has wriggling tendrils adding to its texture, and to anyone but Maisie that would touch him, it will give them a shock.
His hands and neck are decorated with jewels from sunken ships, gold rings, pearl necklaces, found at the bottom of the ocean and weathered by the sea.
And the final piece is a Volto Bianco mask, a Venetian mask that is just a plain white face. But upon putting it on his own, it turns into that of a handsome young man and moves along with his face as he speaks and makes facial movements.
Merlin pauses and looks at the garments. He stares at his reflection in the water and touches the mask. And then he looks to you. Is it good?
Maisie is blushing. You can't really tell because it's dark, but her face is crimson, and she just squeaks out a sort of, it's all right. You look good. You look nice.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. The seamstress, she really does wonders.
In a imitation of the many couples that Merlin has watched promenade along Cremorne Gardens, he kind of stiffly bends his arm at the elbow and holds it out to you.
Maisie has never felt so special in almost all of her life, and she takes his arm and walks with him to meet up with the rest of Hargrave House.
Let's return to the Cult of the Pig. T. Mock demands a sacrifice of riches. What does the cult offer him? Describe the manner of the offering.
Everything in the Cult of the Pig must be consumed. So when somebody says that the food is rich, they mean it quite literally. In order to make a sacrifice of riches, each member of this cult must take 100-pound notes and shred them. These shreds are then sprinkled over a perfect circle of dough, covered in rich red blood that is then baked by an open flame.
You hear the chimes as a nearby clock tolls midnight as you all get out of your carriages or otherwise arrive at the Midsummer Masquerade. Once again, Mr. John, you would perhaps note this. The sky seems to be this odd twilight, does not seem to match up with the sky that you encountered upon your journey here. Mr. Lloyd, I think you too would clock that you are in this liminal space. Not quite fairy, but not quite Earth either. We see dazzling mirrored lanterns. There is a maze of statuary and potted plants, a swirling throng of costumed revelers, all dancing, all masked. I have a paint the scene for you. Guests travel from afar to attend this event each year, each one more beautiful than the last. What love interest or old acquaintance do you hope to meet here by chance?
I don't know if she was a love interest so much as she was admired, but given the theatrical nature of this evening's entertainment, John is keeping his eyes peeled for Anna Cora Mowat.
Rabbit specifically does not want to run into any of his ex-lovers, so while keeping a wary eye out for them, he is keeping a hopeful eye out for a few of his former, let's call them drinking buddies. People like Gwillem, Lurakan, or Robin.
Ina, having outlived many of the mortal acquaintances she's had over the many, many years of her life, wouldn't expect to see any of those such people at this party, leaving mostly her godlike relatives to happen upon this place, most of which she would not love to see. But if there was to be anybody that she would tolerate stumbling across at this party, it would be her brother, the man in the sun mask.
As in everywhere she goes in London, Maisie keeps her eyes peeled for a young red-headed woman named Lizzie. And while she would be scared to see her here, she also knows she looks good.
Well, I can't say that you see any of those faces. In fact, you don't see many faces at all, just people in beautiful, ornate masks. We see, of course, Mistress Hazel Beaumont, dressed in a gown of deep, deep velvet, her face delicately covered by a lace veil. She is in conversation with a man who has a fabulous head of hair. He is wearing a bright silk vest. He has ink-stained fingers, and he is scribbling furiously in some paper to make some last-minute changes. You would assume this to be the Mr. Blackwood, the playwright, who is debuting at the Midsummer Masquerade. We also see two veiled, gloved, identical figures who are standing at a break of trees. There are several revelers who are standing with them, and the sisters are handing out all manner of weapons, both modern and arcane. Guns, bow and arrows, slings, and the like. We also see arriving in a very fine carriage a woman who, while masked, nevertheless stands out, the lady in sapphire herself, Theodora Brathwaite.
Maisie turns to the rest of the group. Right, so I know we have to deal with all these situations. Is it alright if I go dance with the fish man? His name is Merlin. Is it alright if I go dance with Merlin?
Ain't none of us in charge of you, dear.
Alright, I know, but I was just, as my friends and my companions, I don't want you to feel like I'm not being responsible.
Have fun, little one.
This isn't quite as direct of a party as the last one we attended, so enjoy yourself. Just, mind your manners.
Mr. John walks up to Merlin, squares off with him, gives him the old up and down. You have her back before the sun sets.
The sun doesn't set.
He gives you a look, like, I know, girl.
Ina walks up behind Mr. John and kind of grabs his shoulders and says, "Stop terrorizing her," and then pushes him towards the dance floor and takes him in her arms, and she is going to lead them around the dance floor.
Right? Well, that's enough permission for me. She grabs the fish man's hands and drags him also to the dance floor.
Yes, as Merlin is being pulled along by Maisie, he is still holding his hand forward in the handshake he was trying to give to Mr. John. Mr. Lloyd, what about you?
Morgan is going to make the rounds. He is going to sort of walk in and amongst the various guests here, exchanging pleasantries, but keeping an eye out for their host.
You see her. She is in conversation with Mr. Blackwood.
Morgan walks across the floor towards her then. I wish to thank you for inviting us to your to-do this evening.
Mr. Lloyd, how charming you look.
Well, I figured since you gave me such a nice gift, I should give you one in kind. And Morgan pulls out from a pocket on the tunic a very small box that, when opened, contains an even smaller piece of white pastry.
May I?
It was made for you.
She daintily lifts it to her lips and takes a small bite.
And when she does bite it, the pastry splits open, and you can see in the middle of it a large, curled up tarantula.
My favorite.
I thought you would appreciate it.
She bites the pastry. It gives a satisfying crunch, and then she swallows. Have you met my paramour, Mr. Blackwood? He's very talented.
Morgan turns and extends a hand to the playwright. It is lovely to meet her man of the day. I hope you last a little longer than the last one.
Oh, well, I hope to, sir. Wooed her with my poetry. I did. Mainstream audiences are always incapable of understanding my work, but Mistress Beaumont, she really sees something in me.
Yes, quite the eye she has.
Indeed. Inspired my latest work, actually. It's quite modern, I suppose, quite fantastical, though I think fitting, given the setting of this place, to write about the Fae. I do believe that the Fae walk among us, and indeed inspire our greatest works. I like to imagine that Shakespeare performed his midsummer play for Oberon's court, don't you?
My understanding is that it wasn't Oberon in charge at the time. I hope you don't mind if I borrow your mistress for just a moment. We have some matters of politic to discuss.
Not at all. Darling Hazel, I will just bring these pages back to the players, and we should be able to start very shortly. She gives him a gentle kiss on the cheek. You do that, darling. Shall we, Mr. Lloyd?
Yes. I think it might be best if we find somewhere a bit private. I have business to discuss with you.
Don't tell me you're going to foul my party with work.
Better to foul it with work than with iron.
Miss Thanero and Mr. John on the dance floor.
I think the first thing that Ina notices is that Mr. John is a noticeably better dancer than when last they were on the floor together.
Well, you seem much improved. Finding time to practice your steps while you're on the run, then.
Maisie spins by and just goes, I told him that!
Ina looks back at him and just gives him a really demure kind of smirk.
Can't do everything on my own.
Pray tell, what prompted you to learn in the first place?
You.
An interesting notion. I think at this point, Ina shifts her stance a little bit to let him lead so he can show off a little bit more what he's learned.
And he does, starting with a waltz and maneuvering her toward the center of the dance floor. You may have noticed the party favors here are of a particularly violent nature.
Yes, I did see that. It seems as though we might see ourselves a hunt this evening.
Not in the way they're expecting.
Ina looks around a little bit and then glances back to him. Tell me, is our query at hand?
He grips her tighter in his hands. The Russians call this time the gloaming, the time between dog and wolf. Because when you see an animal approaching you and the sun is this low, you don't know which it's going to be. And you see him grin beneath the wolf mask, his teeth ever so slightly sharpened. They don't know what's about to hit him.
Well, do let me know if I can be of help. I did tell you to reach out to your friends.
I'm not going at this alone. Keep an eye on me.
That's what I like to hear, and so I shall.
And he brings her in close, dips her, and brings her back up. Their faces very close, but the wolf mask keeps them at a safe distance.
Can I cut in?
I turn. It's one of the sisters, right?
No, it is Mrs. Theodora Brathwaite. And she is not looking at you, Mr. John. She is looking at Miss Thanero.
Interesting.
I defer to Ina.
Well, I suppose so. It is a fete, after all. My dance card is hardly full yet.
I'll go see if I can't find some wine to thicken our blood. Mrs. Brathwaite, my regards to your boy.
Miss Douglas and Merlin.
Maisie, I don't know, how good is he at dancing? Maisie's just having the time of her life.
I would say I can't imagine that the creature of Cromorn Gardens is very good at dancing, but he's doing his best.
Yeah, and Maisie does not care. Maisie is doing the best she can to lead him because she knows how to, and is just taking him in a waltz around the room, doing the best they can. So what did you think? Have you been to a party before? I don't know what your life is like.
It's loud, but good.
Good loud.
Yes, good loud.
Thank you so very much for coming with me. At some point, I'd like to introduce you to the hostess, because she's the one who allowed me to invite you to come.
Maisie. And he sort of stops dancing and just holds your hand. Beautiful, powerful Maisie.
Yes?
I love Maisie.
Thank you. I have not heard those words in a very long time. And I do not mean to offend, but I've really just met you. So I'm not sure I love you in the same way, but I do love you.
You'll come with me. Come with Merlin to watch her.
I wish I could. I can't.
Why?
You know the transformation that you saw me do?
Yes.
I can't maintain it. My pelt is ripped, it's not whole, and while it remains broken, so do I.
May I see?
Yes, come with me. Maisie pulls him off to a more secluded area, enclosed by some bushes and a more secretive part of the party, and pulls out her pelt. You see how it's ripped? It's not supposed to be like that.
Merlin handles this pelt with such reverence and such respect, recognizing it for the object of power that it is, and more than that, recognizing how important it is to you. And you see him start, pulling at some of the scales from his own body and trying to affix it to the pelt. I will fix. I can fix.
Merlin, please don't hurt yourself.
No hurt. I will fix.
As much as I would love your help, I don't think you'll be able to fix the whole thing.
He points at one tear on the pelt. I will fix this.
Okay.
Natalia, how is Merlin fixing one part of your pelt?
Merlin takes some of his fish scales and starts relaying them in a fish scale pattern, integrating them with the fur and the seal pelt so that there is a patch of what now looks like fish skin across one of the tears.
You may check another box on Severed from the Sea. Ah! Let's go back to the Cult of the Pig. Robert, Mock demands a sacrifice of status. What does the cult offer him? Describe the manner of the offering.
A gong is sounded somewhere in the room, and at that noise, these men begin taking off the dark robes that they had been wearing, showing underneath their suits their symbols of their places in the House of Lords, in the halls of business. These bankers, these members of parliament, then begin stripping those suits off, and soon they are down to nothing but their pasty, corpulent flesh, as they get on all fours and rut around on the ground, making imitations of the noises of pigs at feast.
Let's follow Mr. Lloyd and Mistress Hazel Beaumont.
They find somewhere quiet, a little alcove in the hedge, and Rabbit takes off his mask. I don't want to insult you by asking you any questions or even asking you to lay a straight story on me, so why don't I tell you what I know? There is something rotten in the other realm. Powers have shifted and new ones are rising. And you, here tonight, are hoping to curry favor with one of those. Something that will summon her into this mortal realm, and in doing so, grant an immense amount of power. Let me tell you something else I know. This isn't the world of wood of Shakespeare, nor is it the gilded world of Perrault. This is a world of iron. This country has been crisscrossed by railroad tracks. They are making ships out of steel. Gunfire can kill men at an impressive rate, and I even hear they are building buildings out of it in America. So, if you do what I think you're going to do tonight, I can guarantee you it will go worse than you are imagining. Hargrave House myself, and every force I can muster will be upon your heads with that accursed, unholy iron, burning your flesh and destroying everything beautiful you've made. But it would be rude of me to threaten you, so let me offer you an alternative. Me. I understand that I could be quite a bargaining chip. If the courts are indeed in as much disarray as they appear to be, I will return with you to the other realm, and I will see that your lady, whoever she may be, gets a good reputation, gets the power that I can bring to the situation, not the one that my mistress granted me, but my power. And if you're interested in sweetening the deal just a little bit more, I would ask for an exchange of favors. The one that Miss Douglas owes you, I would owe you instead.
Mr. Lloyd, make the knight move. What are you afraid will happen if you fail?
I am afraid that she will not be interested, that she will indeed try and go through her ritual, and Morgan will be forced to live up to his word, and full-out war between the mortal realm and fairy will break out, which will decimate both, because one cannot stand without the other.
Mr. Lloyd, it's worse than that. Not only will you be enlisted in the ranks of the Fae in this war between fairy and the mortal realm, but you will be unsuccessful in transferring Miss Douglas's favor over to yourself. Maisie Douglas will also be pulled into the world of the Fae, never to return.
All right, what am I rolling with?
This feels like presence. Even though you are leveraging your supernatural affinities, this is a bargain, and this is made with words.
Wonderful. Well, then I'm going to say that the spider dumpling that I gave her earlier was actually pulled from my witch's cabinet, so I will name it and mark it off and roll with advantage.
All right, go ahead and make this roll with advantage.
That is an 11. Both Rabbit and I know how important the details of making a deal with the Fae are. And I don't want to risk this being a good enough roll, so I am going to use a Mask of the Past to bump this up to a 12+.
Oh my. Let's hear it.
Narrate a flashback to your young adulthood that shows your first sexual encounter with a dark entity. Another decade has passed since Morgan took his first steps into fairy, and much has changed. The boy has become a young man, if a still somewhat small one. A cholera outbreak has swept through London, keeping him and Nanny busy with their cunning work. Despite this, Morgan has been spending less time in London, and far more exploring the other kingdom. He wanders through the endless forests, climbs through crystalline caverns, and mingles with the gentry in their courtly cities. There are countless dangers, hidden like spiders amongst the flowers, but with the Ketchi as his guide, Morgan quickly learns the rules. Soon he is known by the title Storyteller, as he trades tales everywhere he goes, a valuable commodity amongst the lords and ladies. He spreads stories of the mortal world and the land of promise alike, finding eager ears wherever he tells his tales, and patrons willing to pay well in exchange for spreading their legends. And so, he finds himself in a busy tavern on the outskirts of the land of Nod, sharing drinks and stories with the first men, fair folk, and other inhabitants of this strange land. As the evening is dying down and the crowd is thinning, a figure dressed in graying rags of cobwebs and soot, stooped by age and care, approaches him. "I hear they call you the Storyteller." "They do? Could you spare a story for an old lady?" The Storyteller glances at her for just a moment and smiles. "Once upon a time, in a land far away by the sea, a child was born, named for a father he never knew, and raised by a kindly witch. He grew up in two worlds, and so he tells a story. He tells of riding a steed of thunder and twisted sinews with the wild hunt. He tells of nights spent with the dying and hearing their last words, their secrets, their regrets. He tells of carousing with Gwyn and the Tirith Teg, enjoying their spoils of stolen ale and bread. He tells of monsters fought and captives rescued, of children birthed and ills healed, of kisses stolen and mischief played. He tells his story. As he comes to the end, a smile glows from beneath the veils of smoke. "Thank you. What would you ask for in return?" "Nothing, except what the lady would give willingly." She stands, drawing herself up to an imposing height, her rags dissolving into a ball gown made of the moonless sky and trimmed with beetle shells and raven feathers. As she reaches a pale hand out towards the Storyteller, She speaks in a silver whisper that roars like the ocean. Then join me in my castle. And later, that endless night, in bedchambers lit only by moonlight, they kiss. Their bodies entwine and wrap around each other like vines growing amidst the ruins, tendrils reaching gently for purpose. The queen, her skin shimmering like a mirage, changes her face, becoming a young man, his olive skin smoothed with youth. Their lips pressed together, hungrily exploring and devouring each other's bodies. The youth changes form again, now an old man, now a pair of twins. Their bodies move faster, in rhythm, fireflies dancing and twinkling in a mirror of the night sky. The vines climb skyward, reaching towards the moon. As their breath grows faster and faster, he kisses her pale shoulders, warm waves crashing silver against the shore. The trees' branches spread, bursting into jeweled flowers that explode into iridescent wings. He stares into her deep, dark eyes, flecked with motes of white-hot fire and the ghosts of dream. Say my name. And in a voice not his own, the storyteller says, Mab.
Mr. John, leaving Miss Finero on the dance floor in the arms of Theodora Brathwaite.
She can handle herself.
Indeed.
And I make a beeline for the Sisters Sindula.
The Sisters Sindula clasp each other's hands in excitement as you come up the garden path. Lovely. Our quarry has arrived.
Quarry. That right.
Into the forest with you, little beastie. We shall give you a head start before we hunt.
Lord, what fools these fairies be. You do not invite me here, so I do not have guest right, and you do not have protection of hospitality. That sun to me look like dawn. You want to hunt? I'll give you a showdown, and I won't even need my 10 paces. You give me 9, and you can come and see what it is you think you've cornered. Last time you caught me, I was unaware, naked, and alone. Now I'm looking right at you. I'm armored, and I have a team at my back. What are your names? Then I might differentiate between the two of you.
We are the Sisters Sendula. It has not earned the right to know our names.
I was just wondering which one I was going to put on your epitaph. But fine, if you'd rather be defined by relation to her, you can be defined by your loneliness as well. And I turn my back on them with a flourish of the cape. 1, 2, and I walk away from the rest of the party.
I mean, this feels like a night move to me.
Bring them at me.
What are you afraid is going to happen if you fail in this duel with the Sister Sindula?
So what I'm afraid is going to happen is they are going to torment me until the point where my quickening keeps happening under this twilight until eventually I fail and reveal my monstrous form in front of everyone here, and then they murder me.
Mr. John, it's worse than that. You will be forced to transform in front of everyone at this party and then slaughter everyone at this party, including all of your friends.
That ain't gonna happen.
We'll see. This is a night move with vitality. It simply must be. This will be taken at advantage because of your very good quickening roll, which is good because that cancels out the disadvantage I'm going to give you because you are most beloved.
5 and 6 is 11, plus 3 is 14.
Miss the Narrow.
I think as Mrs. Brathwaite steps in to Mr. John's place, there is a very subtle back and forth about who is going to lead while the two of them are dancing. And Ina trying to get a bead on this woman, being where she is and where we always happen to stumble upon her, decides to let Theodora lead.
And how are you enjoying the party?
It is definitely different than some of the fetes I've attended in the past, but it certainly offers a great deal of interest seeing who arrived among Mrs. Beaumont's guests.
That is always the most intriguing part of parties, I feel. Who attends and what they get up to. I was famous in my time for my masquerades at Brathwaite Hall.
I'm a little disappointed that I've yet to receive an invite to those hallowed halls. You know of me and my status, of course.
Of course, Miss Thanero. Well, play your cards right, and you never know what could be arriving. I could see an invitation to Brathwaite Hall. You would look beautiful amongst my wisteria.
Wisteria has always been a favorite plant of mine. I would be happy to offer myself as a compliment.
And indeed, it would be nice to have fresh blood at my parties. They were legendary, though Victoria always disagreed with the debauchery on offer.
Well, I suppose every party offers something different to a guest's tastes. You seem to find yourself in some very interesting places indeed. We've now stumbled across you dealing with two problems that we've experienced here in London. I'd hate to think you'd align yourself with such foes.
Miss Thanero, I simply answer invitations when I am called to interesting places. I do not know what it is you are talking about, dangers, I assure you. You are very safe with me. I'm sure you've heard of my sobriquets, the Pirate Queen of Barbuda. I always preferred the Terror of Montserrat, personally. Indeed, the very mention of my name inspired a sort of trembling excitement, and no one feared me more than the Royal Navy. But even back then, it was just business. It has always been about business, my dear. Every move I make, every palm I grease, every lord and lady I get on my side is about my commercial affairs. Unless it's not. The Queen is special. There has always been more to the story when it comes to her, our dear Queen.
For someone who speaks so consistently of business enterprises, I feel that might be hiding something a little bit off of the business path. But I wouldn't dare to ask you questions of that sort. I doubt very seriously you would give me anything near the truth.
Try me.
Perhaps I shall. And Ina grips her hand tighter, forcing the bones in her hands together in a very strong, uncomfortable grip.
She returns it, and in one smooth motion, dips you, and then brings you back to standing. This was fun, Miss Thanero. We shall be seeing each other again soon, I think.
I don't think. I know. And she spins her away from her across the dance floor.
Miss Douglas, Merlin has fixed a piece of your pelt and shows it to you proudly.
Maisie's eyes tear up as she takes the pelt back from Merlin. This means more to me than you could possibly ever understand. This is the only thing that stands between me and being able to return to my home, to being who I am, being in the sea. And while I know you'd like for me to return with you, if I were able to return to the sea, I think I would go home first. I do not mean to say in any way that I do not like you and enjoy your presence, that you do not understand the pains I have gone to find you. And it is everything I've ever wanted to have you here tonight at this dance with me. I unfortunately do need to ask that you stop looking for me, because I can't go with you. As much as I would like, as much as that is everything that I want. And I'm so sorry.
Make the day move with presence.
Can I invoke the conch shell that I used to invite him to the party?
Yes, of course you can. What are you worried will happen if things go wrong?
I worry that he'll never want to see me again.
Okay, make a roll with presence with advantage.
4. I'm gonna use a mask.
All right, are you using a mask of the past or a mask of the future?
I was gonna use a mask of the future, but narratively it kind of makes more sense to use my next mask of the past. So we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Narrate a flashback to your young adulthood when you entrusted a human with your identity. Name the thief. It was the night of my 16th birthday. My mother had passed about 3 months before, a complication with her heart that had been plaguing her for a little while. so I was at least aware of the possibility of her not being around. But that didn't make me any more prepared for the reality of it. I didn't much feel like celebrating at home, so I told my family I was going on a solitary swim just for myself. No one stopped me, so I swam. I wasn't sure where I was going, just away. It was my first birthday without my mum. I ended up on some rocks beneath the cliff, and I just cried. It wasn't until she grabbed my hand that I even noticed she was there. The most beautiful red hair blowing softly in the ocean breeze. She didn't say anything, didn't do anything, just looked out at the horizon and held my hand. When I finally calmed down, she introduced herself. Her name was Lizzie, and her eyes were moonlight and whale song. She apologized for scaring me, said she didn't mean to watch me come out of the water, but that my secret was safe with her. She just wanted to know if I was okay. And I didn't know what to do, so I kissed her. She seemed alright with that. I met her there almost every night for months. She would bring me wildflowers and Scotch bun and her favorite books. I would bring her opalescent shells and strings of pearls and, one time, a hermit crab. It wasn't long before she said she'd run away with me, find some small coastal town to live out our days. Come back tomorrow, before dawn. Be ready to leave. I love you. I'll be here. But that night, I rose out of the waters to a loaded pistol and James Duff, the 5th Earl Fife, who promptly informed me that I had no business involving myself with Lady Anne Elizabeth Clementine Duff, as she was to be married to the 5th Marquess Townsend, and a little no-name bitch was not going to stand in the way of his family's ascension. And to be sure that came to pass, he ripped my pelt from my grasp and ordered me to follow him, quietly.
Let's make our final trip to the cult of the pig. Natalia, Mock demands a sacrifice of blood. What does the cult offer him? Describe the manner of the offering.
The men, on all fours, scrounging and rutting with each other, begin to fight, not as men, but as pigs, biting and clawing, until the strongest among them is determined. And this man willingly lays himself before his brethren, so that they may slit his throat, his blood pouring forth, soaking into a sheet of white linen placed below him on the floor, until it becomes so soaked that the white linen is no longer white and is simply red. His body is carved, all pieces of meat taken and placed before the rest of the cult to eat and ingest. His heart placed in the mouth of the boar mounted on the wall, and the dripping red linen tied around its throat like a red cloak.
Mr. Lloyd. Mistress Beaumont sighs a bit dramatically. Well, who's going to tell Orin that his play cannot end the way that we anticipated?
He's an artist. They know how to take disappointment.
Too true. But you, my dear, back to the Shadowed Lands with me. Is that so?
Back to the Shadowed Lands. One favor, provided you give me enough time here to finish the work I am doing.
And you enter into this accord willingly.
I do.
She holds out her hand.
Morgan grabs it, holds it, shakes it firmly, and releases.
There is a change in the atmosphere of this room that I think all of you feel spread as you are around this party. The lights glow brighter just for one moment and then settle back. Mr. Lloyd, a few things. I would like you to take the condition, a servant of Mistress Beaumont. Miss Douglas, you may clear that condition.
Thanks, Rabbit.
And, Mr. Lloyd, I would like you to change your Mask of the Future, the blood-soaked portal, to as follows. Narrate a scene in which you return to the Shadowed Lands with Mistress Beaumont. This character is now retired. And on a 12+ on the night move, you get one extra benefit, Keeper's Choice. I feel like in this moment, the bargain struck. Mistress Beaumont looks at you, and through the veil you see a small smile. Well, storyteller, just because you are not returning to the Shadowed Lands until I say so, it doesn't mean you can't occasionally visit. I can open a way for you, teach you again how to open the ways.
not sure it's the smartest thing for me to walk in unprepared, but I would appreciate the lesson.
And so she does, teaching you once again those ancient but familiar magics to once again walk the roads of fairy. Miss Douglas, Merlin, who all this while has been excitedly holding your hands, gently lets go of them. I can't look for you.
It's not that you can't look for me. I will come to you. I will gladly spend time with you. It's not that I do not wish to see you. I just ask that you leave the people of Cremorne Gardens in peace. I do not think any of them have your best interest at heart. Not that I know what is in your best interest, but you have found me. I am here, and I, of course, would love to see you again. We'll just find a better way to find each other.
I will swim far. I will wait for you.
It feels selfish of me to say that I would like that. If that is what you want, I will not turn you down, but I do not want you to not live your life and be yourself.
What does Maisie want Merlin to do?
I want Merlin to be my friend. I do not want Merlin to spend his time waiting for me when I cannot give Merlin what he wants.
Powerful Maisie, wise Maisie. Merlin lifts his mask and presses his face against your cheek.
Maisie hugs him really hard.
How does this make you feel?
So many things. It makes Maisie feel sad to be unable to provide Merlin with what he wants, but recognizing that it's not really her fault, if that makes sense.
It does. Take the condition sadder but wiser. Merlin squeezes your hands. Thank you for the party.
Thank you for coming with me.
We can dance more. I can be better.
What you're doing now is perfect.
Miss De Niro.
Ina, having spun Theodora Brathwaite off onto the dance floor in this little moment of rivalry, huffs to herself a little bit and turns toward the buffet table that has been set out for the guests. And next to the table is a large silver trough that is full of a punch that is a deep purple color but glistens with starlight. She grabs herself a cup, picks up the ladle, and pours herself a drink, and just stands there for a moment, thinking about what this interaction that Theodora initiated might mean for herself and the future of Hargrave House.
Is there anything else you would like to do today?
I still have this package, this gift kind of veiling a slight in a way that I would like to give to Hazel Beaumont, seeing as she did not only have eyes for me. I'm a little jealous.
Indeed, and I think she is once again playing upon that jealousy as she leads Rabbit out onto the dance floor.
She downs this drink, as we have seen her do before, sets her cup down, straightens herself, rolls her shoulders back, and walks toward where Rabbit and Mistress Beaumont are dancing.
Rabbit is actually leading in this moment, and I don't think any of you have seen him dance before, but if you had, you would notice that this is not the same Rabbit dancing. This Rabbit moves with an unnatural grace, nothing like the skinny, awkward body that he normally inhabits, but something more made of magic and moonlight.
Ina notices this, takes it in, but her focus goes back to Mistress Beaumont as she approaches them dancing.
If you'd excuse us, storyteller.
Gladly. I think I have an errand to run. I'll see you at the house later, he nods to Miss De Niro.
She nods back.
Well, I must say, out of all of my guests, you wear my clothes the best.
Naturally, my love. I wear everyone's clothes the best.
Yes, you do elevate those tawdry rags, but it is good to see you in a design that is worthy of you.
Yes, your skilled hands have served me very well this evening, and I do so love an acknowledgement of people who cross me.
And how, fair creature, have I crossed you?
Oh, I don't know. You've sent your underlings after someone who is dear to me. You have tried to take a favor from another one of my dear ones. And I can only imagine what you were able to garner off of our friend Rabbit.
Careful, dear. Your friend paid a heavy price for peace between my kind and your house. I would hate to see it broken.
I would not dare break something that is so fragile. But I do have something for you. A gift to thank you for inviting us to this fantastic party. And she pulls out the package, now wrapped in that green ribbon that was around the box, and hands it to her.
Hazel Beaumont opens it.
I know you work with only the finest and near unattainable notions, but it does take a great deal of skill to conjure beauty from the mundane.
My dear, I believe you seek to insult me.
I would never dare do such a thing, but I have spent some time at the loom myself. I would be curious to see what hands as capable of yours can do without the preparation.
Perhaps later, child. We shall have a contest, you and I. Another one.
I do so love a rematch.
Mr. Lloyd, how does your night end?
Rabbit leaves the party, not the way he came in, but rather through the hedge maze that was set up as sort of a backdrop for the whole thing. As he's walking amidst the greenery, he begins unbuttoning the shirt he is wearing, removing the armor, removing the tunic, stripping down until he is absolutely nude. Nothing but his pale skin and the blue ink of the tattoos shining in the moonlight. His eyes go upward. I don't know if you've forgiven me yet. I haven't, but I hope I might make myself humble enough to earn your forgiveness. And then, turning through a corner of the hedge maze, he takes a step and is back inside Hargrave House.
And finally, Mr. John, with a 14 on dueling the Sisters Sandula.
Takes another step. 7. Now my quarrel is with these two, but if anyone else wants to be 8, come at me. And then to himself, right at the edge of the tree line, he whispers, "You want a show? I'll give you a show. Step right up, motherfuckers." 9. The Fae hunting party tears after him toward the tree line, and right as he gets to the edge, with one hand he unfastens the Red Riding Cloak, throws it up in the air, and then ducks around to the other side. He whirls around it the way Maisie taught him, as if on the dance floor, and coming up behind, grabs one of the Sisters Sandula with a Fae hair ribbon that is made not from any traditional material, but from a lonesome highway. For there is nothing lonelier than traveling by oneself. He drags her close by the neck and growls in her ear, "You came between the dragon and his wrath. Now you don't feel like I've earned your name, but I'll share mine with you gratis. The woman I loved called me John. My mother called me Bo. Your betters call me Odontothalassus. I have been called La Boca de la Noche, Gonkaidet, and that awful thing. John's dead. And now, so are you. I got something of value back in America. Independence. And your sister is gonna get a lifetime full of it." He pulls it finally closer, snaps her neck, and then pickpockets off her person the way he observed a rabbit doing, a knife made out of rumor, for nothing travels faster. He flicks it and chases after it. It sticks into the neck of a bugbear that would have struck him. He ducks underneath it, grabs from it a halberd, swings around, cuts through a furbolg, and then using the back end spears a doxy, pushes it into the ground, and looks up as a shot rings out like thunder. For the other Sister Sandula produces a pistol, and as the flintlock goes off, it shoots John right in the heart. But it's stopped not by a Bible, for that's in his other jacket, but Ina touched his heart with her bare hand, and her palm displays Aegis, and a golden shield emerges to take the shot. John slips his hand through it, pulls it down, breaks off the axe haft of the halberd so it's just a spear, throws it into her leg. It pins her to the ground through her quadricep. He steps forward. "Death would be too good for you." Lifts up her veil.
You lift her veil and you see just this wriggling mass of many-legged insects.
"If you ever come anywhere near me, one of my friends again, there is no limit to the torment upon which my companions will inflict on you on my behalf. And with his tunic stained black, for their blood is not made of iron, but of the ink of the stories from which they come, he walks back, golden shield beginning to fade along his arm, directly up to Enith and Arrow. My name is Augustus Beaufort Hutchinson. Do with that what you will.
Welcome to the dawn. My goodness, everybody.
What a night.
That felt good.
A time was had.
We got pulled emotionally in all directions, man.
I don't know. Seemed kind of normal to me.
Yeah, constellations for everybody.
Truly.
Yeah, stars for everyone. All right, the first thing we do in the dawn is collect rewards. The threat was resolved. We get 2 prizes today.
Hell yeah.
Good, replenishing all my personal quarters that I keep spending.
Dude, same.
Let's discuss the prizes for the Creature of Cremorne Gardens. This one's a little unique. It is a choice that must be made unanimously. Either Greco, the second-sighted boy, becomes a resident of Hargrave House, or you each get a memento from the investigation. Let me discuss what a resident of Hargrave House means. This is kind of a new feature in the new edition of the game. It does not necessarily literally mean that Greco moves in, though of course that could be an interpretation of this. Merely it means that Greco, the second-sighted boy, or here, Greco, the dream sovereign, becomes a reoccurring ally of Hargrave House. He is available to consult for information. If you consult with him 3 times, he will then teach you a custom move where you will be able to spend your night phase walking through the realm of dreams.
Don't tempt me with a custom move.
You can't him with the custom moves, though. Here's the thing. I'm feeling a little bit of choice paralysis with all our custom moves now.
I know.
We got so many.
You gotta use them. You gotta go into the larder and eat some meat.
So what do we think?
Dreamwalking would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like we already got a Dreamwalker.
I was going to say, it's pretty parallel to Rabbit's story right now, so I wouldn't mind taking that opportunity and then using that to explore that side of Rabbit more, or foregoing that and just allowing that to be more his thing, not Greco's thing.
I like the idea of the dream walking just as an additional option because it doesn't necessarily require all 4 of us to do it like a Hargrave House night phase. Like it can absolutely be like split up. And I think it kind of presents an opportunity for us to help on different threats. If maybe like we're kind of split, then like someone can consult Greco in the nighttime and maybe get more clues towards something that like they're not directly working on.
I also didn't consider that he would be here for the rest of the campaign, so that extends it a lot since nobody else can go to Cremorne Gardens and just like recruit him.
That's what my vote is for.
Let's do that.
Okay, Greco joins us.
Greco has become a resident of Hargrave House.
I love him.
We have a new roommate, or at the very least, a new ally.
Yeah.
And the rewards for the Spider Silk Seamstress. There are 4. A flawless suit or gown, somehow perfectly tailored to your measurements. Add it to your personal quarters. Sir Richard Harlow's silver-rimmed monocle, which allows the wearer to see through a disguise or spot a hidden clue. Add it to your personal quarters. A music box inscribed "The Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy." However, the tune it plays is unrecognizable, causing strange dreams and delirious visions. Add it to your personal quarters. And finally, a Venetian mask painted with crescent moons and stars. The world appears more colorful through its eyes, but may cause temporary blindness if worn too long. Add it to your personal quarters.
I feel like that's Ina's version of getting blackout drunk.
She puts on her mask. She turns up the saturation.
Yeah, I'm doing my red light therapy and just going somewhere else. I actually do kind of like that mask for the blindness piece of it because it's a way for her to understand what her worshipers are cutting themselves off from.
So Ina's going to take the mask.
I will take the suit and fudge it just a little bit to say it is the costume that she gave me for this.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like the idea of Rabbit having this outfit that he doesn't feel he deserves to wear hidden in the back of his closet.
Oh,
That's cute.
I'll take the monocle. from our good friend DiCarlo.
That makes sense considering your friendship with him.
And I'll take the music box.
Let's go to our Dawn questions. Did we answer a question?
Yep.
Yes, we
Yarb.
did.
Yeah.
Did we resolve a threat?
2.
Yes, we did.
2 of them.
That's just one experience.
Just one experience, yes. Did we get an echo in the night?
Yes. When Rabbit stripped off the clothing that was given to him, which was a mark of office, that echoes with the men stripping off their clothes and running like pigs.
Absolutely.
The red cloak that I described in the unseen that was draped around the boar head is similar to Mr. John's red cloak.
Absolutely.
Similarly, the blood staining the white linen, the blood of the Sandula sisters staining the white tabard. And I also mentioned I was going to go thicken my blood with wine to Ina, which calls back Cass's blood-thickened wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I set up Rabbit talking to Hazel, saying, I won't ask you any questions because you won't give me an answer, with Theodora going, I won't ask you any questions because you'll just lie.
Okay, I love that. So, points of experience for everyone. Miss Thinero, did you secretly show a vulnerable side to someone?
I would say being in a very specific state of undress in front of Mr. John is definitely a vulnerability.
Certainly, and you touched him, which I think is very vulnerable for you. Did you appear in London society wearing risque or avant-garde fashion?
I looked like Medusa, so yes.
Yeah, you all were turning a fit, but sadly, it's only Miss Thinero that gets to mark that experience point. Miss Douglas, did you assert your independence or stand up for yourself?
I mean, kind of. When I went to go talk to Mistress Beaumont, I was very independent.
I would agree with that. And did you subtly or not so subtly invoke your oceanic heritage or your love for the sea?
I mean, I was wearing the ocean, so.
That is kind of all you did today, I think. Mr. Lloyd, did you have a face-to-face encounter with the dark entity?
I did.
Yes, and indeed have pledged to basically retire your character in service of her. And did you counsel someone using your supernatural affinities as the basis for that advice?
I did when I read tarot for Maisie.
Mr. John, did you use violence to solve a problem?
Not this time. Absolutely.
You sure?
numerous problems.
All my problems.
Did you have a raw, passionate sexual encounter during which your feral nature manifested?
Yes, with Philomena.
All right, does anyone level up?
Yeah.
I do.
I do.
I do again.
Oh my god, all around.
Oh my god, everybody? All right, choose your advancements.
I will be taking a custom move, which we hinted at, but we will go into further detail on later.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm choosing an additional move from my playbook, which is Fellow Outsider. When you reveal your identity to something that isn't human, you may ask the Keeper 2 of the following. How can I gain their trust? The Keeper will answer truthfully and completely. How has humanity treated them? The Keeper will answer in the form of a clue. Will they help me? The Keeper will answer with something the creature wishes for in return. When you aid the creature or it aids you, associated rolls are taken with advantage. And do they know something that can help me repair the pelt? If the Keeper says yes, you can attempt to repair another section of the pelt. If the Keeper says no, you can attempt to glean other kinds of knowledge, possibly triggering another move. This effect is no longer available once the pelt has been repaired.
I love that. And that feels very motivated considering your interactions with Merlin today.
I'm going to take a point in reason, which will raise it from a -1 to a 0, which is so ironic for who I am.
I am also going to take a stat advancement. This felt like a very magic-soaked episode.
Yeah.
Maybe some story-told blood getting on my tunic seeped in, so I'll increase my sensitivity by 1.
Well, that's 2 threats down, which means I've got some work to do tonight to figure out what it is you're facing in the morning. Good night, hunters. We'll talk again soon.
Shadows in the Smoke is a Kitten Marlowe production. This episode was edited and produced by Kim Dalton and featured a theme song by Jake Pierle. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, an exclusive behind-the-scenes show, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join Percy Davis and all of our incredible Kitten Marlowe patrons in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening.